So what are we starting with today? I decided that I'd like to start, I don't want to say with the basics, but perhaps it's a reminder of the basics. And what I mean by that is this is an old class actually that I taught, and it is on YouTube. I have like a 2 or 3 hour version of this on YouTube that I did about 2 or 3 years ago. And it was calling to me. I felt that I wanted to go back, revisit that, and I changed up a couple of things and kind of updated it a little bit and made it a little more accessible to those who might not understand the topic. And what's the topic? The topic, I don't know if I posted it on this live feed, but we're going to be talking about balancing the elements of magic within and without. It says within, but I mean within and without. So what are the magical elements? All magical systems have work with the elements. In the West, we call them earth, air, fire, and water. We can see them all around us. We can feel them in our bodies. We can see them in nature. It's a part of our day-to-day reality, as well as our emotional and spiritual perception and awareness. But if we want to understand them, we have to be able to feel them within. One of the ways that I do that for me, for those of you that practice ritual with me here in real life, whether I do it here on a live stream or whether I do it for Earth Spirit or the Star Mountain Grove here in Roanoke, is that I make it very specific to evoke the element from within. We don't call upon the fairies and this, not. I mean, for the festival dates, perhaps like a Beltane is coming up, we'll probably call, the spirits of nature and whatnot in to celebrate during the ritual. But when it comes to full moons and other types of magical work, it's important for me to evoke it and to have people that I'm working with to evoke the element from within. So that's one of the big differences you'll notice with the work that I do dealing with elements. And I felt this is an important part of it. So we're going to talk about that today. Our body is a temple where all of the elements reside. They coexist together in harmony. But when the harmony is broken, that's when we start finding and feeling that imbalance. That imbalance can be a physical imbalance. That imbalance can be an aspect of our life that is not necessarily functioning to its full potential. And what we can do is we can design our magical work, our spiritual work, our meditative work, contemplative work to be designed in a way that supports the element that is missing. For example, we can bring energy and support to a lack of, let's say, passion in a relationship by working with the element of fire. We can deal with fighting and misunderstandings by working with the element of air. We can deal with financial stress and blockages and financial issues by working with the element of earth, and of course dealing with emotional or intuitive and psychic situations by utilizing and working with the element of water. So today, this is going to be a 4-part series, and I'm going to break it down element by element, and we are going to start today with the element of earth. Getting to know the element of earth, I'd like to reintroduce you to the element of earth. So what do we know about earth? The basics. The basics is, we're all taught in the books. Earth, the color is green or brown. It deals with the material plane of consciousness. The fairies and not the fairies. Well, the fairy folk would be the gnomes and the trolls and whatnot that live in the realm and the universe of the earth element, or live in that vibration of the earth element. Certain astrological signs are associated with the earth element, but those are all correspondences that we learn about in reading and in going to Wicca 101 classes or Astrology 101 classes. I want to take it a step further. It's important for me that we get to know it, we get to feel it, and we get to learn how to evoke it and utilize it in our life as we need it. So let us call to mind the element of earth within ourselves versus outside of ourselves. The earth element is everything that is solid. It is everything that is resistant. The earth element is everything that gives form in this plane of consciousness, in this 3D plane of consciousness. So in order for us to be aware of it within ourselves, let's begin to notice it. Let's begin to notice all the aspects of it in our body. So what are some of the ways that we can directly experience the earth element in our body? We can begin with the physical presence of our weight and body. So just take a moment, come with me, go on a journey with me, a little mindful journey, and become mindful of the physical presence of the weight of body. Feel the sitting bones, feel them pressing on the cushion you're sitting on, or the bench, or the knees resting on the floor. As well, feel the hands that are resting on your lap or on your desk or wherever they're sitting. Feel the weight of them. Understand that this is an aspect of earth. Simply notice and experience the feeling of solidness. Feel our solidness. We are, in this vibrational realm, we are solid. Now let's enter into an imaginative exploration of the rest of the body. Even though we can't experience directly, let's call to mind all of our flesh, from our head to our toes. Call to mind the sinews that are connecting the muscle tissue. Call to mind your bones. Sense your bones. Bones are obviously of the earth element. They are solid. They are heavy. Call to mind the bone marrow within the bones, your kidneys, your heart. Call to mind your liver, your diaphragm, and any other conceivable solid matter that is within the body right now, down to the urine within your bladder and the feces in your intestines. This is all solid. It is all a part of who we are. Speaking of earthly, Sophia just became manic and is running around, which you might be hearing. Earthly pets. Now, we don't normally think about these things, but just simply call them to mind, and just know they're there, and experience them within your mind's eye. So just do a quick scan again of your skin, your brain, your blood, your muscles, and every solid aspect that is within your body. Now, having reflected on the earth element that is within us, I'd like us now to call to mind the earth element that is outside. Everything that is solid and resistant outside of ourselves. Not necessarily outside of the house, but outside of our body. So let's start with the floor that we're sitting on, that the chair is sitting on, that our feet are touching, the floor upon we're sitting or kneeling on. The cat in the background who's going kooky, very solid outside of me. Let's expand our awareness now and recall the buildings that are outside. The houses or the apartment buildings are outside of where you are, the business buildings that might be outside. Let's recall the vehicles that are out there, the cars. Let's recall all the roads, the highways. Let's recall the mountains. If you're in a mountainous area, recall the desert, caverns, wherever you are, the beach, the sand on the beach. Let's recall the rocks that are right outside your door, the pebbles, the soil, and the bodies of other living beings like the crazy cat behind me. The bodies of other human beings, the bodies of the animals of nature, the deer, the iguanas if you're in South Florida, other life, other beings. Let's recall the trees, the wild plants, and the crops that are growing in the fields and all the farms around us. Simply just evoke the memories in the form of sensory impressions and begin to acknowledge a sensory impression of these things that I'm listing here, that I'm describing. I'm not necessarily asking you to aim or create a train of thought, but just to remember that feeling, that sensory feeling of connecting with all things related to the earth element. And let the images, the sounds, the tactile sensations all come to mind. When we reflect on everything solid within the body and everything solid, it is the same earth element. There's no difference. We may acknowledge the molecular difference, vibrational difference, the form that we perceive it in, but it's all the same earth element. There's no my earth element. There's no other earth element. It's all the same stuff, whether it's within us or without us. We normally think of our form as being us, as being ourselves. But here we're recollecting how everything of the earth element that is within us comes from outside, and it actually returns to the outside. Everything that is within us returns to the outside. It is not ours. We do not hold on to it. The earth element is infinite, timeless. It is its own category, I guess is a good way to call it. Every molecule that has contributed to the earth element in my body has come from the outside, as well as every molecule in your body, and my crazy cat who's running around in her body has come from the outside. And we can visualize the flow of the earth element from fields and soil into our body. There's not a single molecule of solid matter within this body that is self-originated. It's all borrowed. Think about it. We were an egg, and then it got fertilized, and then it grew into something that came from somewhere else. And then those people that created life, our mother and our father, they also came from eggs and fertilized sperm fertilization. And then where do we go where do we go when we die? We go back to the earth. Our bones all go back. Our blood goes back to the air. And we have to give it back. In fact, we are constantly giving it back from the moment we begin our lives. Think about it. Everything we have that is solid, that is us, we end up giving back even while we are alive. Our skin, we're constantly flaking pieces of skin. Our hair is constantly shedding. Everything we take in, food, water, all goes back out. Solid matter, as a matter of fact, is combusting within us constantly. And we breathe it in, it turns into energy, and the energy begins to combust. It's not ours. It's constantly being given back. Our bones that we think is the most solid and the enduring part of our body are involved in a never-ending process of being dissolved and rebuilt. Biologically, it's constantly changing. There are cells in our body that have no other function than to dissolve the surrounding bone, while other cells are involved in building it back up again. So even our bones are a process rather than a thing. So the earth element within is borrowed. It's always returning to the outside world, flowing through us like a river. And as we recollect the earth element flowing in this way, we can reflect. This is not me. This is not mine. I am not this. There's not really ever really even a question of letting go. The earth element never was us. It's not ours. We're never holding on to it, because how can we cling to something that is constantly flowing, constantly ebbing and flowing? So the earth element provides the paradigm for the remaining physical elements, which we're going to get into in the coming weeks. And they're all treated the same way. Recollecting the element within us, recollecting the element outside of us, reflecting that everything that is us is really borrowed from the outside world, and constantly returning to it gives us the, how shall we say, the understanding of approaching it as observing the earth element. And when we are able to observe the earth element in its natural form, its natural ebb and flow, its natural vibrational existence that is not only within us, but is also outside of us and is always ever changing, we have a better ability to understand it. We have a better ability to align with that particular vibration. And I'm just using the word vibration. Actually, I think I would rather use the word frequency, that the earth element is its own frequency. And when we can understand that it's not ours to own, that we are really just, when we're working with the earth element or working with any element, we are reconnecting ourselves with that particular frequency, and then we can begin to direct it to create positive change. We can direct it to create healing. We can direct it to remove the obstacles that we may be having in our life. So all of these things that we just talked about are just to help us not necessarily understand, because there's always more and more understanding coming the more that we align with something, but perhaps give us the ability to help us to connect with that particular frequency, or tune into that particular frequency, tuning into the earth element frequency. It's within us. It is without us. It's ever changing. And we have the ability to be aware of it at any time. And I feel that is one of the reasons why I like to do these types of talks, is just to remind us we always have the ability to align and attune with these frequencies outside of us. Sometimes we just need to be reminded, or perhaps we need to be made aware of the different characteristics and or subtle differences that perhaps we weren't even made aware of. But anyway, so I want to take a moment now to thank you for joining us. I'm going to wrap up today's webcast talk, but before I go, I do have some news I want to share with you. I'm sure if you've been keeping an eye, you might have already seen this. I have been working. Last year, I wanted to do a 10th anniversary edition of my book, of the Book of One. And I just didn't have time. It was just, my schedule was crazy. And somehow, some way, over the last month or so, I ended up with a little bit of extra time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take the time right now, the free time I have right now, to go ahead and create the new 4th edition, which is supposed to be the 10th anniversary, but it's really going to be the 11th anniversary. Anyway, I've gone ahead and submitted it. I've gotten the proof copy back, and yeah, now I got the proof copy back. There are some things I need to clean up a little bit. But so today I wanted to share with you the new book cover. So this is the first time I'm showing it. I think I posted a picture. But here's the new book cover. I don't know if you remember the old book cover. It was brown and had like leaves on it. This one's actually glossy, so it's a little reflective. But there's a story behind this book cover. Wait, I'm trying to get it on the camera. There we go. There's a story behind this book cover. And the reason why I chose this book cover was because it reminds me of what I experienced when I was, for lack of a better term, in the light. You know, call it source, call it heaven, whatever you want to call it. It was what I experienced, and I talk about it a lot. I talk about from that perspective when I was like one with source and whatnot. I could see little bits and pieces, and of course there is a passage in the book that talks about how we are all one soul, and what bits and pieces of soul come to earth to incarnate. Well, this is what it looked like. You know, here, woo, here was kind of like the ball of light I was in, and I could see like the little pieces coming to earth, incarnating, and then coming back up. I'm going totally backwards. So there is a method to the madness of this particular cover. Why I used it, it reminds me of the part of the vision that I saw during my vision quest. And anyway, so this is the new cover. The cover is fully edited. It's done. The only thing is it will not say not for resale. It won't be a promotional copy or a proof copy. And you can see here I got a couple of the places that I do need to edit. But anyway, so that I do plan on releasing it. The unofficial release date is going to be on the spring equinox or the autumn equinox if you're down under. But the new version is it does include a lot of new information, not a lot, about 20 pages of new information, new messages from one and directions from one, asking us to do some actual work. So there are this is new, I'm not going to let you see too much, but there are some new passages in there, and they're asking you how to use it as a tool. So there are kind of like exercises now in the back that you can do. And like I said, it'll be out hopefully around actually on the spring equinox is my intention. So that's really exciting. Also, of course, I have to plug the Visionary Conference at Sea at spiritheartcruise.com. I'm getting really excited about this. It's in September. It's 8 days on the Harmony of the Seas. We're going down to the Virgin Islands. For those of you that think you can't afford it, they are doing layaway. Even me as a presenter, I had to pay some. So I did do it all on layaway, and they let you, I think you can pay it off from now till June. But it's 8 days. I'll be there. Miriam Delicato will be there. All of us are going to be doing VIP time. So if you book and you say that you're there to see me, you're going to have a private session with me. It'll probably be a group session, but we will have a separate event either at my cabin or on the beach or at the pool or at the pool bar. There will be separate private sessions for people that book with me to come see that. Again, 8 days at sea. There's 4 days of conferences. There are 30 speakers. You're not going to be able to see them all, but there is going to be a lot of great stuff going on, and I'm excited about that. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you all at the Spirit Heart Cruise as well as next week. Thank you. And don't forget, next week we're going to be moving on to the second element. I'm not sure which one I have scheduled. I'll have to look at my notes, but we'll be doing that. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye-bye.